Coming up, Catholic Charities must move its respite center to a new downtown location by June.
We tell you what voter fraud is from the words of an expert and how this local case has caused students to react.
And a Brownsville ISD music teacher composes a song titled El Valle del Rio Grande.
Plus, UTRGV's first class is set for graduation this weekend.
We tell you what some of these students and President Bailey say about the first 4 years of UTRGV.
We have all this and much more. UTRGV-TV starts now. Thank you for joining us on this week's UTRGV-TV edition. I'm Ileana Luna.
And I'm Marisol Villarreal. For this week's top story, Catholic Charities must move its respite center to a new downtown location by June 17th.
Our reporter Rocio Villalobos has the story.
Neighboring households to the respite center off of Hackberry Avenue have been filing complaints with the city of wandering immigrants and are raising concern for the location's proximity to McAllen Memorial High School. In a City Commission meeting on April 22nd, commissioners gave Catholic Charities until June 15th to move out of its current location and into a new facility in downtown McAllen. But not everyone was happy with the vote. District 3 Commissioner Omar Quintanilla voted against the new location proposition because he disagrees with the city being the applicant for the permit.
So what that entails is the city is going to be responsible for everything involved with that building. And so, in my opinion, that should have been led by Catholic Charities.
While Catholic Charities covers the cost of housing, Quintanilla says that on extremely busy days, the city can spend upward of $1,000 for busing of the immigrants. To help combat the expenses, Mayor Jim Darling has requested reimbursement from the federal government for the city's expenses in dealing with the immigrant situation.
The city of McAllen, Hidalgo County, really the valley, shouldn't be required to house these people because it's a federal issue, and the federal government should be changing their policies to really control the flow of immigration.
The new respite center is located on 15th Street right next to a dollar store. One local merchant says while he empathizes with the immigrants, he is disappointed in local officials for not choosing a location less disruptive to commerce.
Because, we are immigrants and you have feelings, you have a heart for the people that are struggling coming. But to me, I'm disappointed in the city of McAllen, and I'm disappointed in the church that they've had plenty of time to find something. 6 years they've been at it.
The next commission meeting will be held May 13th, and commissioners will have the chance to extend the respite center's deadline to relocate or propose a new location. Reporting in McAllen for UTRGV-TV, I'm Rocio Villalobos.
Several voter fraud allegations from the Rio Grande Valley have been revealed to the public eye. But what exactly is voter fraud?
Our reporter Juliana Quiroz talked to a political science expert to learn more.
UTRGV students in Edinburgh are disappointed after hearing Mayor Richard Molina was charged with voter fraud.
It was kind of discouraging. I feel like as a voter, especially here in the Rio Grande Valley, there's already not a lot of voter turnout.
Angela Gonzalez says that this voter fraud charge affects the culture of voting.
I think hearing stories like that discourages the public to go out and vote.
Dr. Robert Velez, a lecturer from the Political Science Department, tells us he's lived in several parts of the United States. And even though he's only lived in the Valley for less than a year, he admits one thing.
Voter fraud is
it's a cottage industry down here.
We spoke to him about the several types of fraud in elections, and he tells us it all depends on context and what he calls nefarious intent.
So they knew that they shouldn't have voted in that particular election, whether it was a geographical area or, they knew they had voted in a previous precinct. I mean, that's possible too, multiple voting, ballot stuffing.
Yvonne Ramon from the Hidalgo County Elections Department tells us how this sort of technology is utilized.
You have a person check in, and we have to balance that number. You have a person go and vote on the machine, those two numbers have to match. Then the very next morning, those who voted, we post on the internet.
She has been working for 11 years as elections administrator and assures us that your vote is secure.
It does not have internet connectivity.
She says they invite the community to test the machines for accuracy. Velez says even though things like voter fraud can happen, he gives one message to those thinking like Gonzalez.
Don't lose faith in democracy. That's the key.
In Edinburgh, for UTRGV-TV, I'm Juliana Quiroz.
A local Brownsville ISD music teacher, singer, and songwriter recently composed a song called El Valle del Rio Grande. Here's her story. Sandra Rivera Garza is a Brownsville ISD music teacher, singer, and songwriter. She wrote an original song called El Valle del Rio Grande. She was inspired by the valley's culture when creating the song.
But throughout my life, I've always felt, the love of this region, the love of the Rio Grande Valley, the love of the culture, the love of the people. This was inspired me to write this. I was inspired by the climate, the palmas.
Garza also teaches children the ukulele at Brownsville ISD. She says that she enjoys teaching them to express themselves with music and believes it's important for them to understand that anything is possible, no matter where you come from.
And usually that's what we want to instill in our students. We want to instill the love of music and also share it with the world and tell people how much we love to express ourselves and to share what we feel, specifically for this region.
As the RGV continues to gain popularity with the media and in border politics, Garza says that she hopes that with her song, people who haven't been to the valley can understand its rich culture and positive attitudes.
The RGV is a beautiful, magical area that is just so rich in culture. It's very rich in beauty, the climate. I know that I'll breathe this, beautiful weather and this warm sun warming up my skin, and that's why it's part of my lyrics. Everywhere you look is just amazingly beautiful.
For more information on Garza's work, you can search her up on YouTube. In Brownsville, Marisol Villarreal reporting for UTRGV-TV.
National Pet Adoption Weekend starts early May and ends early August. Here's how Edinburgh's Petco store is partnering with Palm Valley Animal Center to help these little fur babies find a place called home.
There's so many stray cats, stray dogs. We do have so many unwanted animals here in the valley. It's an issue.
It's no surprise the Rio Grande Valley has an overpopulation of stray cats and dogs, which is why the Palm Valley Animal Center and Lori P. Andrews Paws Shelter partnered with Petco for Adoption Weekend.
So yes, there is an overpopulation because the animals don't stop coming in to Palm Valley Animal Center. They get so many animals a day, especially right now. We have the kitten season coming around, so we're getting a lot of litters.
For these strays, a certain amount of weeks at the shelter means time is up.
So 2 weeks is already a long time, technically. Yeah. So we always have a list where so the reason why we have the list is because those animals are discounted. Their fees are waived. Basically, they only have to pay a rebate fee for them to get spayed and neutered, which once they do get spayed and neutered, they get that reimbursement back. It's $50 for them.
The majority of these future pets have all their vaccines up to date and are either spayed or neutered with very unique personalities.
So Anika, which would be the tan dog, she's a more calm, quiet. She's still in her shell, but she's still not very trusting. She's fine when you pick her up and walk her and everything. She's good when she's out, but she does get a little shy, not 100% comfortable yet, but she's getting there. She's more of a lap dog, calm, good for a household that's just starting. And then, of course, Sammy, which is the black one, is our more vocal, more active. She just wants attention. Like, she's going to be the one that requires attention. She doesn't want to be confined. She's going to be that more outdoor dog, wanting to interact with the family. So she's like 100% ready, go, let's go play.
If having a long-term commitment is not the right time, a foster program is available at the 2 shelters.
We do have a foster program. The foster program that we have really going on right now is where you foster an animal for 2 weeks. It's just a commitment of 2 weeks so the animal can get transferred to rescue. We do want fosters. We need fosters for mama cats with babies. We need fosters with mama with puppies, and then litters that don't have mamas. that require bottle feeding.
One could even spend their time volunteering during business hours to show these future pets some love through a quick and free orientation.
You do have to attend an orientation. The orientation is going to let you know if you're going to want to do like more cat stuff, more dog stuff. They also have like a bathing if you want to do bathing, but that's an additional thing that you will have to do as well. And when you go through the orientation, you can volunteer at Palm Valley or Paws. You could do either one.
For more information on how to volunteer, foster, or adopt, visit the shelter's website to show these fur babies a little love and a place to call home. Reporting in Edinburgh for UTRGV-TV, Ileana Luna.
UTRGV's first class is set for graduation this semester.
And University President Guy Bailey and graduating seniors are elated over the success of the university.
Our chief reporter, Nathaniel Puente, has more.
In 2015, UTRGV began as an ambitious merger between two universities over 60 miles apart. The unprecedented effort connected the Rio Grande Valley in a unique way. In the middle of this transition were students who just wanted to go to college. On top of the pressures of being in college were the growing pains of the transition. Now, the first class is set to graduate and tell us how they think the university has fared thus far.
My experience with this university has been really great. I've been able to meet a lot of new people, join many associations, and just keep moving up as a student.
I mean, I love it here and I learned a lot, and it's really grown since the first year of UTRGV. So.
If student testimonies aren't enough for you, let's hear from the school's president himself.
And I think if you ask people in the community, it's been a big success. From the inside, we sometimes don't see what people from the outside see. And that's what a difference the institution is making in the lives of the Valley and in the collective life of the Valley.
So what's next for this university?
New programs that are in the pipeline, physical therapy, pharmacy, PhDs in human genetics, all of those things, a master's in business analytics, all of those programs will create opportunities for students to augment our program mix. And as we do that, you'll find people from all over the state coming here.
Although the first class is graduating, it's just a start for this university. UTRGV will continue to grow on into the future. Reporting for UTRGV-TV, I'm Nathaniel Puente.
The 8th annual Gradient exhibit is here.
Graphic design seniors show off their art portfolios. Elijah Noriega has more.
The annual Gradient exhibit is here. Senior graphic designers show off their art portfolios that they've been working on all semester.
So this show it happens every fall, every spring. It is a culmination of every student is generally in their last year, their senior year. They've worked this long. They create a body of work. If it's one piece, if it's multiple pieces, if it's 2D or 3D.
Students like Norma Hernandez explains where her artistic inspiration started.
Honestly, it started since my childhood when I would start with Crayolas. So I got inspired to continue my education with the arts.
Other than graphic designing, Jessica Villegas shares her love for ceramics.
It's a material that I can feel, I can hold, as opposed to something where like I use, like a paintbrush and paint off of a wall or an easel. Like I can create something, right? Like I can hold it and I can turn it into almost like a living being, right? It becomes anthropomorphic for me. I give it almost like a human qualities where it speaks to me and it helps me create it.
Adilene Rosales and Jonathan Hernandez elaborate on their acceptance into art school in New York.
We got accepted to Chautauqua. It's in New York. Out of 115 that applied, 38 were selected, and we are 2 that got selected into that program.
We're excited. Yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge. Yeah. It's going to be a competitive place, but also collaborative.
The ongoing show happens every semester for graphic designing, Bachelors of Fine Arts studio, and art education majors in hopes of bigger opportunities in the future. For UTRGV-TV in Edinburgh, I'm Elijah Noriega.
And here's this week's sports highlights with
our chief reporter, Nathaniel Puente.
Now let's get you caught up on the latest in UTRGV sports. And unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. This is the last sportscast of the semester, and UTRGV baseball's streak of conference series wins snapped this weekend against New Mexico State. The Vaqueros dropped the first game of the series in a disappointing 17-8 loss, but came back in Game 2 and exploded for 21 runs in a massive win. UTRGV scored 9 unanswered runs in the first 2 innings. It's tough to single out the important ones, so I'm just going to name every player in a row who RBI'd. Sepulveda, Galvan, Hirsch, Grubbs, Torres, Galvan, Gomez, Diaz, Gomez, Torres, Grubbs, Galvan. I'm out of breath. It's the most runs UTRGV has scored in a conference game since 1997. And that was an awesome year because that's when yours truly was born. The game was cut short in the 8th inning due to the team's insurmountable lead. And in the spirit of cutting things short, I'm just kidding. Now, the third game of the series didn't go the way we planned it as the Vaqueros fell 10-0. But UTRGV is still tied in first place in the WAC standings with New Mexico State. And of course, there's nothing WAC about that. Another week gone by means another WAC championship took place. This week, it was the Men's Golf Championship. UTRGV finished 4th place. Senior Alvaro Hernandez actually finished 5th place in the individual scoring, wrapping up an incredible career at UTRGV. And down here, guess what? The broom is back, and it's not for the traditional role. It's because I'm going to go golfing. So let's see it. Okay, stop recording. All right, so every week I have a guest on the Sportscast, and well, this week I just decided why not have 3. So I put together the best golf players I could think of. So why don't you all introduce yourselves?
I'm Victor Ramirez.
What do you do?
I'm a student. I'm a mass comm major, junior.
Well, no doubt. Who do you work for?
Oh my gosh, for the Rider newspaper.
My name is Fernando Ramirez.
What do you work?
For the Rider newspaper as a photographer.
My name is Alvin Roy. I work with UTRGV Radio.
Awesome. So we have a whole bunch of student media representing here our organizations, and we're going to have a little golf tournament to see who is the best organization in student media. Sorry, Pulse Magazine, but you weren't here. At Steven. Unofficially 4th place. All right.
Webster.
First up is Victor. He was the 2012 Ryder Golf Champion.
Hey!
Next up is Fernando Ramirez. He scares Tiger Woods.
Get in the hole! Coming up next on the first hole, par 3, is Nathaniel Puente. He's got a long history with student media, taking his first shot on the tee. Hole in one!
Okay, so the first hole had a par of about 6, and all of us hit it a hole in one, so we're each tied with a score of -6. That just proves how great student media is. Now, round 2 is going to be a little different because we're going to have to give a trick shot. Okay, so Victor's going to be our first contestant who tries the trick shot. Victor, what are you attempting?
I am attempting to land on the hole. The ball needs to go to the restroom, so hopefully he'll have a successful ride over there and back to the hole. There you go.
All right, so with Fernando, aka the Big Fern. So Fern, what's your trick shot going to be?
It's going to be called the Campbell's Noodle Soup. It's going to roll back home.
All right, that was a nice shot by Fern, but unfortunately the rider has been disqualified because they're not broadcasting. We're broadcast. So here's Albert from the radio, and what's your trick shot going to be?
So I'm teed up right here outside of the Radio TV Comp Studios. This ball is going to go through the university library, out the other side. These doors don't slide, so I'm hoping that, by the grace of God, that this ball will make it through the other side into the cup.
Awesome. Good luck. Okay, so that was a good job by Albert, but now it's my turn. And I'm going to have my ball order a soda for me. All right, so nice shots from everyone, and it's been a long day, so I could use a drink. So we had some nice shots from everybody, and as I mentioned earlier, the rider was unfortunately disqualified due to leaving the tournament in the middle of it. So it was a tie between UTRGV Radio and UTRGV-TV, and for our victory, our prize win, we actually win the UTRGV Radio mug, and these are just absolutely fabulous. So Albert, what are you going to do now that you've won this mug?
Well, you said it was a tie, so we have to share it, don't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
How
do you want to split it?
Right down the middle, I guess. We'll just go to a mill,
Yeah,
have it cut in
slice
half.
it in half. Yeah. And Victor, you just must be absolutely devastated that the rider was cut down there, third place. How does it feel?
It feels horrible. Like how can this happen? But it's a good competition. Y'all won, and sportsmanship, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats on third place.
Thanks.
So unfortunately, there's a fourth member missing. Sometimes when you report on this sport, dark things happen. And unfortunately, Fernando Ramirez is no longer with us. He's moved on. He's not in the golf competition. So my condolences to all the Fern fans out there. But maybe he'll be back next semester when UTRGV-TV has another sportscast going. This is the last one of the year. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss Albert, going to miss Victor. But you know what? We got summer. And we'll be back in the fall with even better sportscasts. So reporting for UTRGV-TV Sports, I'm Nathaniel Puente. And
Albert Monroy.
And Victor Ramirez.
See you next time.
And here's this week's police reports released to us by UTRGV PD this past week.
On April 29th, a female student reported finding written messages on the windows of her vehicle while parked unattended in Lot E19. The female reported finding the offensive messages on 3 separate occasions during the month of April 2019. The case is still under investigation.
Later that same day, an officer responded to an off-campus residence in Edinburgh to check on the welfare of a male staff member who failed to report to work. Upon the officer's arrival, a family member already on scene had forcibly entered the residence and found the staff member unresponsive. Emergency medical services and the Edinburgh Police Department arrived on scene. The staff member was pronounced deceased, and Edinburgh Police initiated the unattended death investigation, which appears to be due to a previous medical condition. On April 30th, female students reported observing an unknown male wearing baggy jeans walking in the area of the main building at the Brownsville campus when his pants dropped to the ground. The students believe the incident was accidental, but the male subject was no longer in the area when the officers checked.
That's all we have for you today. But remember, if you have a story you would like for us to know about or know someone who is making an impact on campus or in the community.
That's right, Marisol. You can contact us through our social media or email us at utrgvtv@gmail.com. We have community and UTRGV news for you every week. See you next time.